Good morning, Vietnam. Just kidding. Always wanted to do that. All you guys out there know what I'm talking about. RIP Robin Williams. But welcome back to the channel and welcome TBM Sports family. We're going to get into the picks as we break down the Thursday, March 6th college basketball slate. I'll give you guys 4 picks, hopefully 4 winners out there on the card. Yesterday, 1 point away, I should say, from bringing out the brooms. They were a little bit dusty. We almost got them going as the Long Island Sharks relinquished a huge lead late in the second half, losing by 11. And we needed a 12 spot to get that one done and take the dust off the brooms. But we're back. I will give you guys my 4 best bets on today's card. Also, we'll talk a little betting psychology as well as I look into kind of my strategy, the way I handicap college basketball late in the season. We'll get into that a little bit later. But let's get into the card. If you have not done so, though, guys, these are free picks. All I ask in return is we try to get over 100 likes on every video and that you are all subscribed with notification bells. Also, follow me on X, all that good stuff, because that is how we grow. And that's how we take care of business here on TBM Sports. Okay, so let's get into it. These will be my best bets for the day, and we will break down the games. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's one of those days where the card does not kind of fit the bill in terms of what they, how should I say this, in terms of marquee games. There's no highly ranked games, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to be honest with you guys, a lot of the bigger plays that I do make, multiple units and whatnot, are on teams that you probably are watching that you do not know even where they're located. You don't know what their mascot is. You don't even know their coach, player, what colors their uniforms are. And that's why with college basketball, it's a lot of times a play on the numbers and not necessarily the universities. So keep that in mind. We always try to separate the emotions in sports betting. That's the number one rule. So if you're betting games just because of, it's Florida, Alabama, it's the best game on the docket, that's fine, but that makes you a fan, not a bettor. So keep that in mind first and foremost. So that was actually a game that if I didn't like the over, I was going to be staying away from it altogether due to that nature. Okay, but we did cash that and gave out a lean on Florida, so that was a good one. Also, kind of some other big spots last night. Great night for college basketball last night. It almost felt like March. Just a little touch upon that. But yeah, I watched about 12 games last night, and that was one where it definitely delivered from an entertainment standpoint. Just needed the Fighting Irish to kind of fall late in the game. That would have made the cherry on top for my bankroll as we look into my what I had going on in terms of my slips. Okay. Let's get into it. We are going to use OUTLIER to break these picks all down. If you do not use OUTLIER, it is a paid service. Try it out for 7 days. If you don't like it, cancel. Links down below if you want to start that trial. Me personally, it does kind of get that ball rolling, right? I have my own systems, what I look at, and if you're not using multiple tools to compile your picks, it may work for you, but most likely it doesn't. So OUTLIER is a very good tool to add to not just college basketball, NBA, hockey. Really priceless with what I do this time of year, and especially with baseball too. Any more of the statistical dominant sports where you get into prop markets and whatnot and betting trends, it really does make a huge difference. Okay, OUTLIER is where we are at to do these picks, and like I said, guys, 7-day free trial in the description down below. Okay. Let's do a quick recap of yesterday's picks. Long Island, that was the loser over Bama. Florida cash. Florida was that lean that they did cover on at 3.5. Xavier minus 120 money line, and Fairleigh Dickerson, the play of the night. That was one that cashed with ease. -3 is what we had them on the last bet for yesterday's slate. Okay, but let's get into today's slate. We're gonna break this one down. I do have 4 best bets, so let's try to keep it going and kind of repeat the performance from yesterday. And let's get on that roll. If you guys have been rolling with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We can go on a run here. And that's kind of what we look to do, especially around March, because then we can really start stringing them together. This is kind of what we're going to look into. A couple leans along the way. This is where I kind of like the Penguins at home, 19-12 on the season, going against Purdue, Fort Wayne, the Mastodons, -130. That's just a lean. And personally, I think this is where you look for the home field edge or home court edge for the Penguins playing a role. So I do like YSU a little bit at home as a short money line favorite. Not a strong lean, just kind of one that did catch my eye. Next, Cleveland State, another Horizon League play that I do think has some value. Cleveland State minus 160. Personally, I think this is something where it's the same kind of narrative here. I think Cleveland State's been on a little bit of a skid, but I do think the Vikings get this one done going against NKU. And for my money, it's something where the 3.5 kind of bothers me. So if there is a 3, that's something where I would suggest and recommend a play on Cleveland State. I'm not sure though we are going to get a blowout performance. So kind of why I'm staying away from it. Minus 160 is too big of a money line, so this will be a pass. But I do like Cleveland State and YSU a little bit out of the Horizon League. UTEP and Sam Houston. That's another great game on the card if you guys like. Cover teams. There's a reason why Sam Houston is a 2.5-point favorite with an 11-18, 4-12 in conference record. Okay, so that's one that is a kind of sharper play to Sam Houston State. I'm going to stay away from it, but the numbers do kind of suggest that they do have an advantage. Okay. The big game on the card that we are going to talk about, though, is Michigan State and Iowa. Some Big Ten action. Spartans are laying 6.5 on the road. And we've been talking about, and if you guys have been watching my videos day in and day out, pretty much every video I mentioned the teams that within the college basketball ranks that you should have as sleeper picks for March. That's going to be Michigan State. That's going to be Maryland. That's going to be Wisconsin. And I'm usually anti-Big Ten, to be honest, but those are teams where those are pizza money bets that you could have had huge futures prices on if you were watching. Also, Missouri, they have the opportunity to light it up. It does bother me a little bit when they're away from their home field, home court. And there are a couple other ones that we do mention from time to time, but those 3 out of the Big Ten, also St. John's, kind of early on in the season, defensively, kind of have to have them, but it's just the question, can they make threes down the stretch? But that was one where that was a huge number early on in the season where we did enter the futures market within St. John's. Okay, but that's kind of where I'm at within some of the to win it all, to win the big dance. I know it's tough to win all those games in a stretch, but in terms of value, when you're getting teams 40, 50, 60 to 1, that's kind of where I'm at with when I do give those out. Okay. But I do like that first bet that we will have within the Michigan State-Iowa game. I think this is where you look at kind of the under in this game. I took 152.5. I know that number has dropped a little bit, but it is the play that I'm giving out because if you watch Michigan State play against Michigan, against their, I believe it was Wisconsin, the game got a little bit up-tempo, but it did not ever have a chance to go over the total. Iowa, they look to slow the ball down as well. And something about this, when we talk about it, if we look at kind of the ATS numbers, okay, Iowa at home is a great under team. Also, you look at Michigan State, they have been cashing the under a lot. And the one game that I'm going to use for comparison's sake, Iowa, Northwestern, Illinois, you can even go back into some of the other ones. Never had a chance, but the big kind of faster tempo games such as Maryland, Oregon, and Washington, those games went over. But I do think this one is going to be a slow it down defensive game where Michigan State may struggle on the road a little bit, even more contributing to that under. So give me Iowa, Michigan State under 152.5. If you want to take it at 151, fine. I took 152.5 before I started making this video, and the number has already moved, so keep that in mind. But I will still recommend an under all the way to 150 within the Spartans and Iowa in that contest, okay? Next game that we are going to look into, we'll go down the board a little bit more. That's where we're going to talk about the next spot, and I think I actually passed it up, so I'm gonna kind of search for it real quick. That way I can show you guys. Yeah, Evansville and Murray State, 7 o'clock tip-off. This is one where we do get an interesting matchup. I'm going to take Evansville here, all right? I'm taking 5.5. If you shop around, if you can use multiple sports books, 5.5 is available as we're speaking. Right now, the number's 4.5 at plus money. That's the best value you can get at ESPN Bet. But I did lay some juice and got 5.5 with Evansville. Also kind of a sneaky money line play on Evansville as well, going against Murray State, 15-16 on the season. This is one where if we look into it, guys, recent performances. Evansville is 5-0 ATS in their last 5 games as an underdog. Also, we want to talk about kind of their past performances. Back in January 29th, Evansville was able to win that contest 78-74 outright. Okay, and then before the new year, we did get a matchup where it was 63-61 in favor of Murray State. So splitting Evansville both. In all 3 of the matchups they're going to have this season, they've been at least a 5-point dog. The number has slid a little bit, but still at 5.5, I think you're getting great value. They may not win the season series 2-1. They may lose this game, but I think 5.5 is going to be great value going against Murray State. One of my favorite bets of the card, and that's kind of where I'm going to give out a pick. Evansville plus 5.5 as one of my best bets. Okay. Next, we will get into some of the other games. Florida Atlantic and UAB, that's going to be a coin flip. Personally, I think that FAU plus 5.5 is a very intriguing play, just due to I think that this number should be more so. If it was on a neutral, I'd probably have this one closer to a pick'em. So if you don't believe in the 19-10 Blazers, 12-4 in conference, UAB money line, is too inflated. But I do think that FAU at 5.5 has some value out there in the market. Okay, let's go down the board. The next game that we're going to talk about is going to be late night. All right, and that's where we're going to get on some West Coast action. Very profitable if you've been betting them in a way throughout the season. UC Irvine, 25-5 on the season, going against UC Davis. Okay. That's something where UC Irvine has been one of the best cover teams in the NCAA, and you could take them right now. -7 would be the best number you can find. That would be a very strong lean as well. And I talked a little bit about betting philosophy within the fourth quarter of kind of how the season breaks down as we transition into postseason play. These big numbers on the road. Teams are just looking to advance in their conference spots. They're not looking to win these conference games in tournament play by huge margin. We saw that last night with Long Island a little bit, kind of bit us. But that's something where I do think that UC Irvine gets his job done. But I don't know if they cover the 7, so it'd be more so a lean in the spot. Okay. The next play that I will give out, Long Beach State and UC San Diego. Okay, now UC San Diego, 26-4. They are a outstanding basketball team, 16-2 in conference. I took 24 points with Long Beach State, and I'm going to use that same betting philosophy where I don't think that they need to cover huge numbers. And within this matchup, you look at kind of how they went about their business throughout the regular season. I'll pull it up for you guys, and you can see kind of the head-to-head. They had an 80-54 defeat at home against UCSD, excuse me, and that's something where you saw that kind of trickle down into a blowout, 80-54. But I think that Long Beach State has been playing a lot better as of late. It's just too big of a number for me not to take. So give me Long Beach State plus 24. This is just a play on the number. It really doesn't have anything to do with the basketball. It's just too many points for this kind of game. So I'm riding with Long Beach State, and let's take the beach on the road to get this one done, plus 24. Okay, Cal State Northridge is also a lean that I do have. Okay. 21-8 on the season. You take the Cal State Northridge money line -120. That would be another lean that I have in the market. Okay. The last bet that I will give out, official play, is going to be within the Cal Poly Mustangs. Okay. -14 is the number that I would recommend. You look at kind of what Cal State Fullerton is doing. They are probably one of the worst teams by the numbers in college basketball, failing to cover a lot of games in a row. Okay. They've lost over 10 straight in terms of just straight up, and also failing to cover the number, I think like 9 games in a row. I know it's a bigger number, but if you look at it at face value, it's something where I think Cal Poly just wants to keep their momentum. I think that they were able to just blow out Bakersfield, and this is something where Fullerton is pretty much waving the white flag, and I just don't think they're going to be able to score enough to hang with Cal Poly. Cal Poly averages upwards of 80 points per game, and Cal Poly will get this one done. This could be a 20-plus point defeat for the Titans of Cal State Fullerton. So give me Cal Poly laying the -14 in this spot on the West Coast for the last game on the card. So those will be my best bets. Appreciate you guys all rocking with me. I know this was a little bit longer of a video just to go over 4 picks, but I had a lot to get off my chest. Appreciate you guys rocking with me. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join us here at TBM Sports. And just a quick recap of the plays. We're going Evansville +5.5 against Murray State. We're going to take the Beach, Long Beach State University, +24. Michigan State, we're going under 152.5, and Cal Poly laying 14 points at home, against Cal State Fullerton. All right, so that'll be my 4-pack. Good luck with your tickets. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys will be betting on today's card. Let's go get another sniff of the brooms and hopefully 4-0 on these picks. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow with another video where I give you guys my picks for the Friday slate as we get into the weekend. Huge games coming. Stay locked in. Turn on that notification bell. Good luck with your picks. We'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.